Hello everyone, this is Venom when we have landed entertainment, and today we need to talk about Starfield. Now today's video is going to be very spoiler heavy. This is not going to be a review of the game, but it is going to talk about a very serious issue that is in the game. That being said, again, I cannot emphasize this is going to be straight up spoiler territory, so if you have not played the game or do not want spoilers, I try to keep it as spoiler free as possible, but unfortunately because of the nature of what I'm talking about, it's going to have spoilers in it. Now, for the first time ever, Bethesda has added a new game option into their RPGs. For those that don't know, Bethesda has added a new game into Starfield specifically. They have already mentioned this in a lot of their interviews, so this is nothing new. This is not spoiler territory. However, this is the part that's going to be a spoiler. So again, if you don't want to hear the spoilers, your warning, this is your last warning. It's it. So you get 5 more seconds to you. Okay, so new game is not really a new game plus. When you do new game at the end of the main story, you will literally lose everything you worked for, and all you will keep is your level, any research you've done, and your skills, but any items you gathered, any ships you built, any money that you made, and even your relationships that you had in the previous or current playthrough you've got will be gone. You will be going to a new universe and essentially starting over. And all it really does is have a couple random wacky tweets or tweaks, typically with the members of Constellation. You basically lose everything, and the only thing you get, you can upgrade your powers a bit when you go through the game. If you want to go through the temples again and rehunt those, you get a bit of a power upgrade, which honestly, not that great for what you're getting. You get a ship, and you get a set of armor. You get Starborn ship and a Starborn set of armor. Now, every time you do new game, apparently the armor and the ship gets stronger. That is pretty much the only perk of doing new game, besides seeing what weird tweak the new universe is going to have. Now, I've seen someone who's done about 4 or 5 different new games right now. They've gone through. Each time he's gotten something very different when he's done his universe. However, I'm going to be honest with you. These little tweaks are not worth the new game, and it's not worth destroying everything that we just worked for. And that's what I want to talk about today. Now, some people may be confused on why this is a big deal, and if you've never played a Bethesda RPG, or really any RPG, I'm going to kind of lay it out for you. Throughout any Bethesda game, or any real RPG, you're going to go through and you're going to make your mark on the world. You're going to have a main story, you're going to make companions, you're going to join factions, you're going to build houses, you're going to build ships, you're going to do a lot of things that take a lot of time and effort. People put hundreds, even thousands of hours into these games for a single character, and what we essentially have here is a situation where all of that work goes down the drain for very little in return. Unfortunately, this is an issue Bethesda's had for the last couple of games, forcing you to essentially destroy all your work or go against what kind of character you've created. What am I talking about? Well, in Starfield, you can build ships, you can build outposts. There are over 1,000 planets. You can put outposts in all of them as far as I know. As far as I know, I haven't found an upper limit as to how many ships I can own or an upper limit to what my level can be. Now, I can keep my level, but if I were to go through and make, say, 1,000 outposts and have hundreds of ships that cost millions of credits and do the new game mechanic, I'm going to lose all of that. We are being forced to essentially engage with what is really the continuation of the main story and all the work we did. The only other thing we can do is go through other new games without engaging in the world at all, and hopefully we get to a spot to where the new games stop, and then we can actually engage with the world. I say engage with the world because there are a lot of side quests to do out in Starfield. If you were to do them and then do New Game Plus, yes, technically you can do them over, but it's kind of a slap in the face. I mean, we've gone through, we built these relationships with our characters, we built these relationships and built up all these cool stories, and then we essentially erase the universe and start over again. And unfortunately, again, this is spoiler territory, but we're not really erasing the universe. We also have to keep in mind that we're not really erasing the universe, we're leaving that universe behind and going to a different one. So not only are we losing all of our progress, we know the progress is technically there, canonically, we just can't go back and look at it. This is a real issue with this game right now, and to be honest, it is the biggest glaring flaw I can see in Starfield. I've been enjoying the game quite a bit. However, the second I found out that there was a new game plus, I went ahead and double checked to see what would carry over, because I had a weird suspicion that some things may not, And boy, am I glad I did, because when I found out that the only thing that carries over is your level and your abilities and your skills, I was pissed. I had already spent a lot of time trying to build a really good ship. Granted, I had been putting a lot of points and skills into shipbuilding, so luckily I'd be able to carry those over to New Game. However, I was really upset to find out that all the farming I'd been doing and all the cool items I've been looking for, I cannot bring them with me if I'm going to do the New Game. Now, I'm not the only person who's having this issue, although I have seen some people that are like, not a big deal, you get to replay the game over and over again. However, to be honest, that's been a very small majority of the people that I've seen that have that mentality. The majority of people that I've seen anyway, and again, don't get me wrong, I've mainly been lurking around in Reddit, looking on the comments of a lot of videos, and some of my own videos. A lot of the people are just really pissed off that in Bethesda games, you're meant to build this whole world for yourself, and now we're essentially being forced to destroy everything that we worked for throughout the entire game. And this is Bethesda's biggest game yet. I mean, it is a galaxy-sized game with thousands of or 8,000 planets, and we got to destroy our work on a massive scale. Now, I've kind of noticed a pattern with Bethesda kind of forcing us to make decisions we don't want to do in our games. I've noticed it with Fallout 76 and with the Nuka World DLC in Fallout 4. In Fallout 4 with the Nuka World DLC, I mentioned it in another video before, you're essentially forced to play as a bad guy if you want to experience everything the DLC had in the game. And it's not just you having to play as a bad guy, you get to play as a bad guy and go back and destroy progress you'd made in your main story by destroying or raiding some of your settlements. And of course, all of your companions get really upset about that when they find out that you are essentially a raider. That can really destroy your main game, your main part of the map. Now, the same thing can be said about Fallout 76. In Fallout 76, even though it is an online game, it is technically an MMO because it's multiple people playing on the same map. There is an area called the Crater, where there are, again, raiders. Unfortunately, you cannot kill them. You have to, canonically, let the raiders exist, even though they are objectively bad guys. I kind of played through, there's literally nothing in there that is redeeming about the raiders. They are canonically and legitimately bad people. They are objectively bad, but for some reason, we cannot destroy them. There's even an NPC in the game, the Overseer, that basically tells us not to destroy them, and she really doesn't give a good reason as to why. Now, granted, I understand that it is technically an MMO, so we can't really go around destroying NPCs, except that's also not really a factor, because there's plenty of MMOs where you can actually choose sides, and where you as an individual can make decisions in your playthrough of a game that will vastly change the world but not affect others. I'm going to say this too, and I may get some hate for it. I distinctly remember that apparently there was a developer or writer for the game or something, I don't remember exactly who it was, but who would apparently, and I mentioned this before in a different video, who apparently said they had gone back and forth about their own beliefs in life when they were writing and developing this game. And looking at what the story is for this, and looking at the little universal hop gimmick, I'm sorry, but whoever said that, you must really be tooting your own horn, because that is not that big of a gimmick. I don't understand exactly what it is they saw in this that was so profound, especially with the story they wrote themselves, but I can tell you right now, as a player playing the game and experiencing it, the way this thing ends and the way the new game goes, it's not profound, it's just a slap in the face to me as a player. Now here's the thing that's even a bigger slap in the face. The rest of the game is amazing, which is probably what really pisses me off about this. The rest of the game is awesome, and I really want to go through it and can't wait, in fact, to go through and do all the side quests and do all the quests for the different factions. But once I found out that I was going to lose everything in the new game, I stopped doing that stuff because I knew I was going to lose it all, so I'm just going to do it in the new game. So I have not even got to experience the majority of the game yet. The second I found about the new game, it kind of killed the playthrough for me. And here's what's worse. Had I not found out about that and then had to make this decision afterwards, I would probably not recommend the game to anybody. And as of right now, I would say if you're going to play this game, you need to be aware of the new game situation. In fact, until there's a mod out, and I'm sure there's going to be a mod coming out for it soon, where you get to keep your money and your ships at the very least, even if not the outposts, at the very least your credits and your ships that you have put time and money into, and your items, then a lot of people are not going to want to play the game, or they're not going to want to engage with the New Game Plus. As of right now, I'm going to be hitting New Game tonight. There's a bug where I can't get my last power. There's 24. I'm stuck at 23. The 24th one won't pop up for some reason. But I'm going to go ahead and start my new game and go ahead and build everything from there. I'll go ahead and explore. I'll do the faction quest and do everything on my new game. However, it is a really big slap in the face that this is how this new game is playing out. It's not clever. In fact, like I said, it's a slap in the face. It's not really a cool way to do this. If you're going to do a new game, you do it where it carries everything over. That's the point of a new game or a new game plus. Again, I understand Bethesda's, they don't do this very often. This is the first time I've done a new game. But if you're going to give the players something that they want, and this is something that players have wanted in Bethesda games for a long time, in fact, this is typically a feature that's modded in, the new game plus. If you're going to give it to us, don't give it to us half-assed, or don't give it to us and then take everything away from us for using it. So, that's all I got right now. Like I said, this is a bit of an off-the-cuff video. This is more of a PSA for people. Like I said, very spoiler-heavy, but that's my thoughts on this. The rest of Starfield has been great. I am actually enjoying my game, or my time with the game, but this issue is so big, people have to know about it, and really, I think it needs to be addressed. That being said, I will be sending out my review, or putting out my review video here in the next day or so, along with some additional videos. I'm making a shipbuilding guide. I've got some more guides coming out as well as a beginner's guide. I've got a couple of tips and tricks videos out already. So I'm going to put out a beginner's guide for those people who are just about to launch into space here in the next, I think we're about 20 hours to the official release. We've all been playing on early access, but that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you for coming by. Like I said, that was my little rant on this. So please be aware, if nothing else, be aware what's going to happen in the new game. The reason I say not to rush it is not really good a reason. If you're going to do the new game, you're going to lose everything and you don't want to, go ahead and rush a new game. So that's going to do it for me for tonight, guys. Please, 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 again, subscribe, leave a like, let me know what you guys think. I will continue to put out more videos, and I will see you on the next video.